So what up everybody, Pete Mac here. I'm going to be jumping into a beat breakdown on the MPC2500. This one started with this vinyl sample. That's what we chopped up. I pitched it up a bit. I filtered out some of the high end, and from there just found a few parts that felt good and built around that. So I found a drum break. I chopped it up. We filtered out both the high and low end quite a bit, and it left me with this percussion sound, almost sort of like a shaker that adds a little bit of a cohesive element to the drum loop that I've got, the kick, hat, and snare on top of that. Pitch it down a bit. I've got the filter options here, and I've got two. Cool, so that's sort of the basis of it. And then here's the sample that we chopped up. Absolutely lovely. Pitch it up a little bit. Filtered out a little bit of the high end. So for this sample, I tried to just find a few things that work to build sort of a foundation of a pattern off of, and that was this one, this one. So those just sort of bounce back and forth, and then I've got these other ones I can experiment with and try to find something to sort of put in between or lead into one of those chops since I know it's going to be there. For this one, I found a few like these here. Just lovely, lovely little samples. Use those to sort of put in between the two I've got bouncing back and forth and build somewhat of a different pattern. Once I've got my initial pattern, I'll usually mute that, add another track, and try to find something that either complements it or maybe it takes sort of the new direction and I don't use the first one. In this case, I did. I sort of have a B section that I came up with. So in that first pattern, I started here. And that sort of set the foundation for everything. So in this one, I looked for a different chop to build around. And it was this one that I landed on. And that's the basis of this track. It's pretty simple. It's just two different chop patterns going on. We have that drum loop, which turns into almost like a percussion sound once we filter out everything. And then the drums. I do like the drums on this one. I'll solo those real quick just to listen. I'm also adding the EQ and the compressor on the master channel here on the 2500 as well before it hits the SP. So I'll turn those off for a second. Here's the EQ on. The compressor on. So that's with the EQ and compressor off and then on, and then from there, I'll beef it up a little bit more with the, usually the 303 vinyl stems here on the Yeah, and that's the beat. And then I guess what I'll typically do is once I figure out my arrangement, which I'm doing mostly on the track mute screen here, what I'll do is I'll sort of set it up so I know I want it to start on this pattern. I'll scroll to that track. And I've got my chops here, and then I can decide what a good intro might be. And for this one, I did my little count in with simple but groovy. And then I can also sort of tie in the 404 since it's running into here. I'll often do the filter. Too fun. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for me. It's like 70 degrees out in Chicago. I'm going to get outside, take a nice walk, find some inspiration for the next cook up. So thank you for tuning in. Have a lovely rest of your day. Peace.